Okay. So in the React class, like I said, it's used to filter records. So, but we can also, instead of like here, we have where address ID not equal to 30. We did this in the other day. We have a situation whereby we may have more than one condition. Like you may say, we want to get the address ID of people who are greater than 30. And if their address ID is greater than 30, and those ones who are active. So, for example, now the AND operator, we have the AND operator. For AND operator to work, both of the conditions must be true for it to be true. So if I say, like I told him, feed him, stop feeding him if he's greater than 30 and has a job, okay? You stop feeding him. You only stop feeding that person if that person is greater than 30 and has a job. That means if that person has a job but is not greater than 30, you continue feeding him. Are we there? Are we there? If that person is greater than 30 and does not have a job, you continue feeding him. If the person has a job and is less than 30, you keep feeding him. Only when both conditions are true. If that person is greater than 30 and has a job, that's when you stop feeding him. Okay? Just like, there was a bit of change laws, English because of the delivery. It said 36, then 25, and Abuja. Okay? And is that the two conditions must be true. So now we have what we have here is we want to get those people whose address ID is greater than 30, okay, and who are active customers. Therefore, if I will say select first name, last name, anyone active from customer where address ID is 30 and the active status is 1. So if I should run this guy now, you find out that only those people whose address ID is greater than 30 and whose active status is 1. Those are the only people that have that appeared here. So if it means that if that person is less than 30, it will not appear. If that person active status is 0, it will not appear. So these two conditions must be satisfied for these ones to appear. Are we there? So when it comes to all, one of the conditions must be true for it to be true. So like here, or the or operator, he said the operator displays a record if any of the conditions separated by or is true. It means that if I have, let's say for instance, the same rule, if he's greater than 30 or has a job, stop feeding him. That means he may be greater than 30 but does not have a job. You stop feeding him. Are we there? It's a simple thing. Look at it. If he's greater than 30 years old, okay, or he has a job, that's when you stop giving him food. Okay? That means that if he's greater than 30 years and does not have a job, you stop feeding him. Okay? If he's less than 30 years but has a job, you still stop feeding him. One of the conditions must be true for it to be true, not two of them. One of them. If it happens that both of them are true, it will still go. Okay? So here we're saying that we want to get those people who they are greater than 30. Address ID is either that the address ID is greater than 30 or active status is equal to 1. So it means that now we may see somebody whose address ID is greater than 30, but the active status is 0, it will still go because one condition is met. Okay? We may also see somebody whose active status is 1, is 1, but the address ID is less than 30. It will still go because one condition is being met. The active status is 1. So if I should run this guy now, you find out that these guys, if you look at here, is not greater than 30. The other side is not greater than 30. But because of the active status is 1, it's showing. Okay? You come here, you will see 0. You can see 0 here. Okay? Is this one is not being satisfied, but this one is greater than 30. So it's showing. Okay? So one of the conditions must be true here for it to be true. Are we there? Remember, if you want to comment something on MySQL, you use hyphen hyphen space before you start commenting. Maybe one of the conditions must be true. Okay, so don't bring it close because it's going to be a problem. It's going to be an error. You have to hyphen hyphen space. Okay, then so this is how to use the or operator and operator. Then we have the not operator. So not operator. We I okay, let me just go up, show you something.
So it's hyphen space.
Yes. We have the not operator. So we have select, want to select everything, but here we don't want to select people who always buy from store one, sorry. So you see, we want these are different customers and they buy from either store one or store two. But now we don't want to get customers. We are only interested in customers who are in store two. Okay. What it means that we're going to say select first name, last name, email address, store ID from customer we are not store ID equal to one. Okay. Mean that we don't need people from store ID one. Are you there? So that's why we're using not operator. So what the not operator does here is that the not operator, okay, displays the record if the condition is not true. So here, I don't want the store ID one to show. So I'm saying that you should give me all these ones from the customer table where this particular store ID, where we don't have this particular store ID. Okay. So wherever we don't have this store ID one, that's the one that is going to show. So if I should run this guy now, it's going to give me store. Okay, I didn't put semicolon here. If I should run this guy now, it's going to give me store two only because I say not store ID one. I only have store one and store two. It's too confusing. What is confusing actually? But you understand all. You understand and. So what I'm saying is this. Let me say I have people from Ngobala and let's say Owerri. And I want to select only people who are from Owerri. Okay? So I'll now come and say if I only need people who are not Ngobala. That's Owerri. Isn't it? I only need people who are not Ngobala. I'll have only Owerri and Ngobala. Who people will show up? Owerri. We have two stores here now. We have two stores here now. Store one and store two. Okay? And I'm saying that I only need the first name, last name, email address, address I store ID from customer where their store ID is not one. Which one you show? Store two. Store two. That means only that one. That one will not show. If I have Ngopala or Were, Mbitolu, Mbano, Mbise, and I'm saying not Ngopala. Other ones will show now. It's a simple English. I'm giving you an example with the one that made you understand what I'm saying. We have 5 local governments, and I'm saying I only need people who are not Ngopala. That means if you're from Owerri, Ombise, Mbano, you show up, isn't it? Only Ngopala will not show. We have 1,000 stores, and I say only people from store. I don't need people who are not. I only need people who are not what 35 or 35. That means 35 will not show. Other ones will show apart from what 35. It's a simple. Abi? So if you have 5, 10, and I'm saying I just don't need people from store one, that means 2 to 10 will show, isn't it? So that is what is happening here. So I'm saying that I want to select the first name, last name, email address ID, store ID from customer, where not store ID equal to one. Where the store ID, not this one, anyone that has store equal to one. Then if I run it, I'm going to only see people from store two. Are we on the same track now? So I've been able to demonstrate the and not. Is there any confusion there? Are you sure? I've just listened. Hmm.
So now,
Hmm.
this from here to here is just one program, she. From here to here, right?
One statement.
Like after you wrote this one, you press enter to start continue from here, right?
Yes.
You press enter to continue from here.
Mhm.
Then you now run the like you want to run this one now.
From here to here is a statement. Anywhere you see semicolon, that's the end of the statement. A new one will start.
Okay,
You're
so
seeing these dots here, these dots here, seeing these dots here. This for this for this,
okay.
this for this.
Okay, sir. So if you want to start a new command, you put semicolon and put enter. A new
Semicolon means you're done with that line. Once you're writing even a book, when you're done with that point, once you enter the next paragraph,
Okay, so once you put the semicolon and you put enter by itself, to know that you're starting a new command. That's the new.
you have to put semicolon, whether you put enter or not. I can put enter here. You can still take it as one. So you trying to put space here does not determine whether it's a new statement.
And if you want to run and if you want to run only this one now, once the cursor is here,
You click on this one.
okay, just only this one.
Yes, we'll run.
Thank you. So
So I want to combine and not, like combining and not, or just combine them together.
can you go?
So here now I'm saying,
And
it's not me and you that do it.
okay, yes, yeah, okay. And
Select first name, last name, email, address, ID, store ID from customer. Where not store ID one. So you want to get people who are not from store ID one, but whose address ID is greater than 30. Understand? People who are not come from the store ID one, that's store one. But and also people whose address ID is greater than 30. Okay? So you're seeing not and also and here. So if I should run this guy now, I'm going to see only from store two, but it's going to start from 31 because it's greater than. Are you there? This is satisfied. Address ID greater than 30. And not store ID one. You see, store ID two that will show. Okay? It's going to filter them out. So if I happen to say I want to put all here, I can still put all here.
again, not store ID one or
It's
address
either
ID
it's not store ID one or the address ID is greater than 30. Either of them will show. Okay.
Anyone from two or one will show.
Yes.
As long as it's greater than 30.
30, exactly. So you're saying is not store ID or this. So if I get somebody, you can see two together, but you can see one somewhere here. Because here the address ID is greater than 30. So you're seeing one.
This or one, but it's greater than 30.
And you're seeing two. Okay? Are we there? Okay. All right. So I can still do another kind of combination. Are you there? So let me say I want to combine knots. I want to combine the three together. Okay. So I can come here and say, let me just close this one, and maybe come here and say, or let me say something. Let me look at the table where, or active equal to 1.
We are going to stop in one and address ID greater than
Yeah, you have to read. This thing is recorded. So that's let I ask the question. So where not the store ID 1 and this, okay? So we have this. What I'm saying is that we don't want anybody from store ID 1, and address ID must be greater than 30 or an active of 30 of 1. So now if you look at here now, one of these must be true. Okay. So one of these must be true for it to be true because of the or. So let's say we have 1 here. And that one now must also be that that person is not from store 1. So is I don't need somebody from store ID 1, and the person and address ID must be greater than 30 or active status equals to 1. It means that that person, he may have address ID that is 2, but because the active status is 1, that one is satisfied. Okay? You understand? That means you can have 5 now, that's less than 30. Okay? But because that person has an active of 1, the person will show, but also must not be from store 2. So here it's saying that the store now we need just 2, but you now come into the address ID side and active. Maybe that this person is greater than 30, but active is 0, fine. Okay? Or active is 1 and less than, or both of them can be met here too. So if I should run it, you're going to see, you see that it is store ID 2, but you see that this store ID 2. Okay, I didn't put that active. So let me add active here as a column. Active. So let me run it again. Now see, you can see that this person is 2. All of them must be 2. The address ID here is less than 30. But why is it active? We said all. So active is 1 here. Okay. It's either this or this. But it has to be from this. Because I say and. That means this one has to be true too. Okay. So
So you say it must be less than or greater than.
this is greater than 30 now, or active equal to 1. So as you see that active is equal to is less than here now, but they said or, so have active 1. So any of these has satisfied this or. But the first one now, we're going to say and. So just like saying this one now, based on this now, this and this, 1, okay? It is
But
true.
nothing comes to our 2. If nothing comes to our 1, we should. Nothing comes to our 1, we should.
No, nothing comes to our 1.
One is okay.
Now you're seeing that the first, let's just go from the back here. You see that this one is true for here now. Is either address ID is greater than 30 or 1. Active static is 1. So that, and we say that one of it must be true for it to be true, isn't it? Therefore, we have true here. Okay? Because this all will give us a true value. Now, we add it to this one. Okay? And this one must be true because this is and. Okay, you see that this one makes it true too. Store 2, because we say it's not store 1. So also have true here. Okay. I will say both of them must be true for it to be true when it comes to and. Okay. So this is true. It's just like saying true and. Okay. So this is true for here. And this is also true when it comes to here. And everything that gives us true. And that's it appear here. So you see that I've combined not and all together. Okay, and combine it that way. If Petru, are you there? I mean, what is the video you understand better? When you watch the video, you understand better.
You give an example.
Mhm.
Not over now.
Mhm.
Like what if someone asks you for you to know that you become Muslim? Like what would they ask of you? Like what like you know
You're talking of a real life scenario.
what would you
I may tell you something like, I need people from primary five. Okay? Okay, let's say we have just one, two, three. I'm saying I don't need people who are not, I only need people who are not primary, just three. Okay? That means just one and two are there. Okay? And they must be either above 30 years or female.
must be either
Above 30 years or female. You understand? But it must be that it's not from JSS 3, it's just one and two, but they also be above 30 years or female. So you can have a male who is above 30, he will join.
join.
You understand? From just one and two.
I don't like all this one. Thanks, sir. So I'm the tip saying like example with you.
So, done that. So, we have to go to order. If you want to order things, you know, order it now, maybe ascending or descending order. You understand? So, let me do another one. Select first name. So, let me just take this guy. First name, last name, and email. Then I say from table. Yeah, from customer. Then I say where, okay, from customer, where, sorry, order by, another one, order by first name. So what I'm doing here is this. I'm trying to arrange this guy in alphabetical order, okay? You can see here, if I'm to run this from here, you will see that they are not in order. Mary, Patrick, Linda, others, okay? But now I want to arrange in alphabetical order the first name. I want to order it by the first name. Select first name, last name, email from customer, order by first name. That means, and then by default is ascending. Let me just run this guy now. You see it's okay. I selected first name, last name, and email. I ordered it by the first name. I can see A, B, C, D. Now you can also put this ASC, that's ascending. Okay. By default, MySQL uses ascending as the default one. So if I run, it's still the same thing. However, if I want to make it descending, I need to put DESC. Okay, descending. So when I run this guy, I want to start from Z, Y, X, it goes down and down and down. Okay, so I'm ordering it by. Now, I can also order it by multiple columns.
Excuse me, but without adding descending or ascending, order by first name to appear by respect name first.
Yes, by ascending. Yeah. So now, let's say for instance, let me show you, we just ordered by one column. There's no example here, but I'll just show you by demonstrating based on our data here. We don't have it. Let me demonstrate to you something. So let's say for instance, Enugu, Abia, Imo, Enugu, Imo, Anambra, Ebonyi, Anambra, Annam. Okay. So above here, this is state. one column, state. Drag it. And here we have city. In this Enugu, it may be in Nsukka. Okay? Nsukka. Anyone. In this Abia, and I may be Sochi. More. I have a wedding. Another Enugu may be Ababa. Ababa. Imo, we have Douglas. Anambra, we have Nnewi. Ebonyi, you have Abakaliki. Anambra again, we have Agwata. Okay? Now, if I'm going to arrange it by several columns, basically we do it this way. Like, let's say this is order by city, then you say comma, maybe order by state. You can write something like order by state, comma, by city. Okay? When such thing happens, see, this is how we do it. I'm going to order it by state first and then by city. So see how it's going to appear. This is city, this is state. All right, so if you have EN, the one that starts here is Abia, Abia State, Nava, without Abia. Now, by city, now have Abia. Abia is happening how many times? Once here, right? Okay, it's Sochi. Okay, we have Enugu. No, Ebonyi first. Ebonyi, like we use these guys once. Abakeleke.
Okay, that they are the only people.
Don't worry, when I finish. We have Anambra. Anambra, we have Nnewi and Agwata. But this Agwata will first start. Okay? You understand?
Vertically.
Alphabetically. Yeah. Anambra again, we have Nnewi. Okay? We have Nnewi. Then we come to Imo State. Sorry, is it Imo State?
Yeah.
We didn't put, see, we even made a mistake here. And you guys are just looking at me. Anambra before Ebonyi.
Yeah, I suppose it was both.
Abia, Isochi, Anambra,
So it was.
Enugu, Ebonyi, sorry. Ebonyi here, Abakeleke. And then before have Enugu. Now this Enugu, we have Nsukka, we have Ababa. So Ababa will start first. Abi?
Yeah, yes.
Ababa will start first before we now go another EN, which we now have Nsukka. Okay? Before we now have Imo State. Imo, Douglas will start first. Abi?
Yeah,
B. We're gonna have another Imo. Owerri is my destiny. Imo, Owerri. I see.
yes, sir.
We've arranged it by the states vertically and by the city vertically. So that is trying to order. I've done this one descending, order it by several columns. You understand? That's how to order by several columns. You can even say, okay, ascending, descending, but that's how to do it. Now, all this while we've been trying to select, order, filter. We want to be able to insert record. Okay, we want to be able to insert something into our table. Okay, data now. How you put all those data? And Jane, this is email address. We want to be able to insert hours. So we use the insert into statement. Okay. The SQL insert into statement is used to insert new record in a table. Now it is possible to write the insert into statement in two ways. We have one whereby we want to insert a particular column, but let me just demonstrate that to you. So I have, I think I have a table I created here. Okay, no, I'm not using this guy. So let me just go to Maureen. Let me use Maureen here. I have a table called customer. I will just run this guy. And since I'm using Maureen as default database, I will run it. So this is Maureen. This is a table. I've not got to how to create table though. Now I want to insert into all this record because we already have Frank, all this one. So one example may be faithful, um, useful, 30, Douglas, anything record, a new one. So what I'll do here, I'll say insert. So if I want to insert into all of them, I don't need to specify the column names. Insert into, then into which table? The table name here is customers. Okay, that's a customer. Insert into customer. Okay, now say values. Values I want to insert, I need to go it in order, the way it's written. So first name, I'll say is faithful. Okay, then comma. The last name I say is useful. And then the age I say is 24. You see that the age does not have a quote. It's a number, it's a numeric this, no quotes. And then the address, I say Douglas, or maybe anyone, and so can. So I close it and say semicolon. Semicolon is very important. So insert into customer values this. Now, if I should run this guy, it will insert, automatically is inserted. So if I try to view it, the table, I will see that we now have faithful, useful, 24, and so on. So insert into customer, that's into the table. The values to be inserted are faithful, the way it's written here, useful, age, and the address. Okay, good. If I want to insert into specific, maybe I want to avoid age, maybe the person didn't give me age. I want to just insert into F name, L name, and address. Okay, I'm going to do here is I'm going to say here I will now mention the specific columns I want to insert the values into. Insert into customer. Now I'll open a bracket here and say I want to insert into these particular columns. The F name, the way it is written here, the F name, the L name, and the address columns. These are the columns I'm interested in recording. So I will now say the values I want to insert are, so you can just come here and say Ifani, okay, Osita, and then the address, which is let's say it's Able. So you see that I omitted this guy. So because you want to omit a particular column, you need to now specify the ones you want to use. And they have to be in order in which they are. Here, you see it.
Excuse me, I need an observation. You're not writing the first name full anymore. You write F name, L name.
I never see this table.
Okay.
In that particular table,
Okay, the table
I
also
have
have
F
F
name,
name.
L name, age, address. So You have to write it the way it is.
It's on the table.
So yeah, I run it and I'll it's inserted, the record is inserted. Trying to view it now, I will see that this one, Osita, if I no, I have none there. Okay, nothing is there. And this is the fine. Let's say for instance, it would be a tedious task for you to keep doing this insert into, even though there are other ways, but so I think sometimes you should allow me to teach. Ask me a question like that, you're breaking things from me. Eh? You can write it down. Now you ask me the question. It's better that way. So insert into customer value. So let me say, for instance, I even when I learn online, they will finish, they will not ask any question. That's how the class flows. So let's say I have like two or three and I want to add at once. You don't need to start doing this again and again. I can just come here and say, comma. So let me just change some of these values since I copied. So I'll just say John, John, Andrew. Let me say this is a new record I want to insert. And I have something like 27, and it's from, let's say, Ababa. Okay. So I want to insert a new one. I want to come here, enter. Then I'll say, let me just come here. I'll open bracket again and say this should be Halima, Halima, then Abdul Razak, Abdul Razak, okay, and then let's say 23, and it's living in Kano State. I should be comma here. So you see, so Halima Abdul Razak. So I want to insert these two records at once. I can even add another one again, comma. You understand? I can say, okay, this is Damien. Okay, nwa to rocha, nwa to rocha, nwa to rocha, and I say it's 34. You know that one doesn't have a quote, so 34, comma, and I have something like, let's say is a word. So I have three records I want to insert at once. Okay. All I need to do is I just take values, I put it comma, I start a new one, comma, new one. So I just run it. Every record is being inserted successfully. And then I try to check it out and I'll see that those records are here now. You see John Andrew 27, Halima, this, you see. Okay. So I can even expand this guy so I'll see it well. Okay.
After typing, retrieve that
Yeah. Now.
SARS. If you
So you can see how that is done. We So I said for specific columns, you need to specify the column names. Now let's do this one. Let's continue. So let's have to insert in tables, specify columns, and all values. Null values. What is a null value? A field with a null value is a field with no value. So notice here, we have a field, okay? And so the columns are also called field, isn't it?
yes.
A field, null value. So there's no value here. So if a field is in a table is optional, it's possible to insert a new record or update a record without adding a value to this field. Then the field will be saved with a null value. A null value is different from the zero value. Okay, not the same with zero. Or a field that contains spaces. Okay, so a field with a null value is one that has been left blank during record creation. Okay, when I was creating the record, I left it blank, so that was why it's not valid. Now, how to test for not valid? It's not the same way we test for that. Is the way I will say not no. It's not possible to test for not valid using the comparison operators like such as equal sign, less than, or greater than sign. Okay, so there is an operator we use. We use the is not and the is not null operators. So let's look at this. I actually want to get the records. I want to get extract records where the particular person that has age as null. So I can say something like this: select the first name. So let's just say first name. What am I doing? F name, L name, and let's say age and address from customer. Then I say where, okay, age, okay, is null. Okay, where age is null. So if I run this guy now, I'm going to get this particular guy.
There's anyone with age on to bring it out.
Everybody with age
No.
should bring it out. Okay. So if I want to go the other way, that I want to start those people that have their age. Maybe this guy didn't say, please, if I was that you didn't actually give us your age, please could you provide us with that? You understand? So if we're talking of not no, we need to get people who are we're actually interested in people who have their age. So let's just get people who have their age inside, given to us so I can work with them. Okay. So I'll say select F name, L name, age, address from customer where age is not known. Okay, it's not known. And when I run it, you see, it gives me all these people because none of them has their age that's known. Are we there? Simple, I mean, and short. Okay, so that is it. Now I will teach you about this is where we end for today, and that's where the lady is. That's how. Yeah. So the updates. All this while we've been trying to we know about the CRUD, okay? Talk about the CRUD whereby the C is for what? Create, retrieve, updates, and deletes. Okay? So even though we've not actually created any table, okay, but we are able to retrieve using select, updates, okay. So now in this one, you find out that we have null, okay. We want to now update. Since this guy he can't work, he can't do anything because he didn't give age, so we can't work with him. You need to actually give us his age. I want to update our database or table. So this is how it's done. You be careful when you're updating because you have to use the way you are when you're updating. Then let me just show you something.
Use what?
Update, update, you now call the name of the table customer. You told my SQL that see, I want to update the customer table. Okay. And then I'll say set. I need you to set um the age equal to 21. Okay? 21. Good. Now, if you just run this guy now, what it's going to do is that it's going to set every bit of age here as 21. Okay? You actually have to be very, very careful when it comes to updating it. So be careful when updating records, okay? In a table, notice the where clause in the update. The where clause specifies which record that should be updated. That's why you should put the where clause. If you omit the where clause, all records in the table will be updated. And that is not what we want. Now, what I now have to do is where maybe because Damien, I don't think naturally, if you're having a table, you should have what they call ID. Okay, it can be person ID, user ID, customer ID, because it should not be something. It should be something that is unique. So that whenever you call that particular name, it should be that person. But you know that here now, like we use a fetch Frank two times. If I say we are first name equal to Frank, that means every Frank here will change to 2021. Yeah, so that's why we need to. If you look at well, okay, let me call on Sakila here. Let me call on Sakila here. So I'll just say Sakila dot customer. So if I should run it, you see that Sakila has an ID that is unique, never repeated. Okay. If I call 84, it's only for Sarah, no other person other than Sarah. Okay. So I it's very important for you to have an ID, even though we'll talk about that later. But now, based on how this guy is now, I think Damien is not repeated here, so I can just use Damien. But I think Damien is repeated. Do you also check the other person's record? That's why important. That's why you should be having an ID. National identity card. Only a thing is only for you. Nobody has that. So now where F name, okay, where F name equal to in brackets, sorry, in quotes, Damien. Okay. So it's going to update in the customer table and set age to 21 wherever the first name is Damien. Are we there? Damien. But this is not what you want. Is Ifeanyi, Abi? It's even Ifeanyi, not Damien. Can you see? Where the null is Ifeanyi. So that means the first name is Ifeanyi. Okay? Wherever the first name is Ifeanyi. So now, if I run this guy, it may not run. MySQL is very intentional about your safety when you're trying to update something that will even affect everything. So naturally, it sets your database to what they call the SQL self update is set to 1 so that it will like save you from updating without knowing or something like that. Let me run this guy. It's giving me error, isn't it? Not as if the code is not correct, but it's saying that you are using safe update mode and you try to update a table. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to disable the save update mode because it's actually trying to save you from updating something that may be drastically affect the host. But it's a database, something like I can do Control S. Easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to run something. I'll say, I think set SQL underscore save underscore updates equal to 0, semicolon. So what I'm doing here is that I'm saying that I'm trying to off it actually, okay? Because when I set it to 1, it tries to save me when it comes off the so I don't make mistake. But now I'm setting it to 0. Therefore, the difference is I'll pulled it down. So when I will have to run this guy first. I run it, and then nothing affected. It's marking good here, meaning that I'm good to go. So the next time I try to run this code again, it will enter successfully. Okay, so when I run it, it is now marking good because I've already brought down the defense here. Okay, so if I try to look at the table I just inserted record into updated the record, I'll see it that Ifeanyi is now 21. Okay, I've been able to update Ifeanyi. Useful. Is this useful to you? Fine. Faithful. Faithful. Am I being faithful in my teaching? Ifeanyi Onanya. Yeah, you can ask me. Mm.
The first one is that talking about that unique, you say that's what you have unique so that we are listening to go very, very sharp. So in case, like as you said, in case there is no unique stuff, no unique now, we have if I give me the total you can do to update one of the file.
If you want to do that, you have to also look at another thing. See, one way is this. Maybe that Frank, you can see Frank Okoliba. You can also see Frank Idohu, Frank use Idoho. This one now, there's nothing you can do here because all of them are the same.
And then Owerri.
All of them are the same. The
Same thing.
But assuming maybe Frank Idoho, Frank this one, you may say, okay, we set where this is
First
it
name and last
and
name.
where F name, let me teach you. Where F name is this and I name is Idoho. So that it not be that specific person. But looking at Frank now, Frank has the same Idoho. How do you even differentiate them?
These are by this question, at this point in history, you have this something that you want something to put it same.
Don't worry. Please
What's the question? We were saying same similar thing. Now, I was saying in a case where it's Frank, do, and there's also a unique number like a serial number or registration number. And you just type the registration number
Just the registration number, just registration number is enough.
it's enough.
Because you need when it says yes now, where
Okay.
our name number is 15. That's
Now the person come out. And that ID number, that's what you used to do now in database.
No worry. If you raise anytime you ask question.
You got the code. Now be like you run it. They now want to now see it. Do it again. Just let me just say that like this code now. Run it again and run displays. Let me just see how much it goes. You run it again. And so why is it that the place you click to display it is actually at the beginning side? Okay, like you want to display it, you must go to the first command you know. You touch it.